Hi everybody, it's Christina from Adventures in Polished Land, and happy Friday to you. In today's Friday Reads, I have a reading update. I wanted to mention what videos posted on my channel this week, and then I thought we would do a Q1 reading goals check-in because we are now officially a quarter through the year, and I want to make sure I stay on top of my goals so I can at least attempt to accomplish them. But let's get started with the reading update. I did finally finish No One Can Pronounce My Name by Rakesh, Satyal. I gave this one a 3.5-star rating. I did really like how the story wrapped up in the end, but this one took me over 20 days to read, which is unheard of for me. So I think if I had read it a bit more condensed, I might have enjoyed it more, but glad I finally finished this one. And then I moved right on to The Reckless Oath We Made. This one is by Bryn, Greenwood, and I am really enjoying this. It's reading very quickly. It is very entertaining, but also, maybe entertaining is the wrong word. It is very compelling, and I want to know what's going to happen, but it's a pretty intense read. It is about a young woman whose sister gets kidnapped or abducted by inmates at a prison where she volunteers, and then you go on to learn about her life and all of the different aspects. It's very complicated. One of those books where I would recommend going in without knowing much because the story slowly unfolds as you go on. I have about 150 pages left, and I think I should finish that this weekend. This week on my channel, I posted 2 book review videos. The first one was for The Unseen World by Liz Moore, and then the second one was for Kindred by Octavia E. Butler. So if you'd like to know my thoughts on either of those books in detail, I will link those reviews for you in the description box. But let's go ahead and check in on my 2026 reading goals. I made 5 goals last year, and I think I'm doing pretty good. Goal number 1 was to read 100 books. This one's not going well. I've read 16 books so far this year. I am 8 books behind pace according to Goodreads, and I don't know if I'll be making that up by the end of the year, but we shall see. I'm just going to keep reading and see what happens. Goal number 2 is the American Lit Reading Challenge. This is going very well. I am trying to read 5 books for that challenge every single month, and right now I'm 1 book behind, so I'm not too concerned about it. Goal number 3 was to read a book in Spanish. I have not done this yet, but I did purchase the book, so I at least have the book in my possession, and I am ready to read it once I am in the mood for a Spanish book. Goal number 4 was to continue exploring indie publishers, specifically Europa Editions and NYRB, the New York Review of Books. I have done this a little bit. Because of the American Lit Reading Challenge, I haven't been reading much outside of that challenge yet this year. I had anticipated that I would be reading more on a monthly basis and therefore able to keep up with this goal a bit more. I have read 1 NYRB. I don't think I've read any Europas. Actually, I have a list. I have a little journal here where I write down notes about my reading. And I actually keep a list of all the books I've read from Europa and NYRB. So let's see. Nope, I haven't read any Europas this year, and I can tell I did not update this list because I did read The Dot Avocado, which was an NYRB, and I didn't write that here. So I've read 1 towards the goal. I hope to do this more as the year continues, and I have a couple on my physical TBR right now, ready to go when I get to them. So that will happen, I believe, as the year goes on. And then my last goal was to read my library list and use my library more. I'm doing really well with part of this and okay with the other part. So my library list, if you don't know, is essentially my library system, probably yours does too, has an online account where you can make lists of books. So I have an ongoing list there called Books to Read. And whenever I hear about a book on BookTube, if my library has it in their system, I will add it to that book, or add it to that list, I mean. So I have this never-ending TBR list of books that I'm interested in, and I'm not always the best about actually checking them out of the library and reading them. So I just consulted my little journal here again, and so far I have read 5 books from my library list, which is not too bad. That's actually pretty good. And I have checked out, though, quite a few books from the library. So far, of the 16 books that I've read, 12 of them have been from the library, so that is awesome. I will say the one drawback to this goal is that my physical TBR is stacking up again, but I'm not too concerned about it because this year I am focusing on reading specifically from the library, and because I'm doing the American Lit Reading Challenge, I'm reading a lot of books that I don't already own. But once that challenge is over, I don't foresee it being a problem of me going back to my physical TBR as my main reading source, if you will. And as a matter of fact, I have a lot of really exciting books on my TBR that I am really looking forward to reading. So even though they're kind of sitting there right now, I do plan to get to them either when this challenge is over or if I have extra time in a month, I'll be picking from that pile. So overall, of my 5 reading goals, I would say I am on track with probably 3 of them. I'm on track with the American Lit Reading Challenge. I don't think I will have a problem making up the one book that I'm behind. I am on track with reading my library list and using my library more, I would say. I will give myself credit also for the Read a Book in Spanish in terms of I'm on track for completing that goal, in that I purchased the book in the first quarter of the year and now I just have to make it happen in the last 3 quarters. The only goal that I think I'm going to outright fail is the reading 100 books, but we are still early in the year, so time will tell. I would love to hear from you in the comments. Do you check in on your reading goals throughout the year, or are you the type of person that kind of forgets about them as the year goes on? Let me know how your reading is going. What are you reading right now? I hope you're having a good end to your week, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Hope the weather is better for you than it is for me today. It is very cold and rainy, and I am looking forward to some more spring weather soon. I will see you all in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye!